No wonder you.
There you go.
Certificate of authenticity.
This is to certify that the flag presented this date was flown at Naval Air Weapons Station Channel 8, California, to commemorate the dedicated and faithful service of Stephen Farmer. Let this be a testament of 36 years of hard work and personal sacrifice that helped shape our Navy today. The staff of Naval Air Weapons Station Channel 8 thanks you and wishes you fair winds and following seas. Given this 21st day of November 2023, signed J.T. Vaughn, Captain, Commanding Officer, Naval Air Weapons Station, Channel 8. Obstacles and challenges in life. The flag that was flown today was actually presented to his dad at his retirement from federal service, having been flown over the U.S. Capitol by U.S. Senator Pete Domenici of New Mexico, and Stephen took possession of it after the passing of his dad. A little bit about his dad. After graduating from high school, his dad joined the U.S. Army, and after basic training, he went to a town he'd never heard of before, Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was in Albuquerque that he met and married his wife. Shortly after the birth of their firstborn, they moved to Anchorage, Alaska, where Stephen and his sister Lisa were born. They moved once more before settling back in Albuquerque. His dad modeled the ethic of hard work and doing the best you can that Stephen took throughout his career. His dad, with only a high school degree, rose in the ranks of the Public Health Service to a GS-15, being in charge of the Indian Health Service Western Region, which encompassed not only the western states, but the U.S. territories throughout the Pacific. In honor of both his dad's birthday and Stephen's time working in the Pentagon, this flag was flown over the Pentagon on his dad's birthday this year, February 26th. In addition to the U.S. Capitol, Pentagon, and here this morning, this flag was flown by VX-31 in an FA-18F Super Hornet on Stephen's birthday this year. Stephen, it is safe to say that you have carried on the legacy of hard work, resilience, and service left by your dad quite well. On behalf of this entire group, I thank you for allowing us to share in this moment with you. Congratulations. Thank you, Justin.
All right, so if you guys got to go, this might be a little long, right? But this is going to be a little different based on me. First thing I have to do is put my notes in order. So I'd like to have Heidi and my girls up here. Just want to recognize them for what they do for me all the time. And we got a little something for you. All right, so if you guys know me, you know how emotional I can get at these times. So what does every good man do? It brings humor, right? So I had to write the top 10 reasons why I'm retiring. Number 11. I'm quitting to flip houses in Toronto or Atlanta. I haven't figured out which one. So actually, Hannah's getting married next year. I'm gonna grow a mohawk, and I didn't think it was professional to be in the same spot. I got tired of coloring my mustache. Some of you are saying, I knew it. There's no one like Larry Luxton around to call me young man. No sense sticking around and moving to Mike Lab if there's no snack bar, no breakfast burrito. Actually, I want to dedicate my time to prepare for the 2028 Olympic softball or flag football tryouts. I realized Lambert's program's never going to EOC.
Too close to home.
I'm just doing my part to reduce traffic in the morning. This is actually my way of getting real and getting better. I'm not really retiring, I'm just teleworking. And number one, I was quoting Scarface, Waterboy, Smoking the Bandit, Tony Beats, and agreeing with Dan way too much. So first off, thank you very much for being here. This is overwhelming. A little surprised at the amount of people wanting to make sure I'm leaving. You know, when I started as Naval Weapons Center. I'm leaving as Naval Air Warfare Center, Weapons Division. Gone through 19 NWC NAWS commanders, 7 technical executive directors. I started when Naval was in Crystal City. I worked directly with PMA 259, 242, 298. Worked 9 program managers, 3 Air Force program managers. Actually saw 2 weapon programs go to IOC. I worked 1 foreign comparative test at ASRAM. And actually, one of my more proud moments is helping Lambert's TPO get stood up in the background. I was happy with that. Worked with a lot of military folks, call signs: Mud Dog, Motec, Levi, Red Dog, Beacon, Stick, Budman, DJ, Stewie, Zoil, Ferris, Harpo, Decoy, Eggs, Moose, Seymour, Gretzky, Killer, J-Ro, Wolfie, Zulu, Shoes, Chew Pinks, a Jojo, a Santee, Crusher, Huffer, Bam Bam, Spool, Lizard, Eel, Lippard, BD, Chet, Otto, Count, Messy, Tofu, Sally, 2 Cooters, a Booger, a Ninja, a Bubba, Yubnub, Tanker, Chebs, Brownie, and a Scooter. You'll hear about that later. So the military folks, they call them patch wearers. You get patches for doing certain things like number of hours in the flying or your cruises and stuff. So I came up with my own civilian patches. I've had over 1,000 PowerPoint briefs. These next ones were actually kind of spurred by Danny. One time we're getting off the plane in Dulles, or we're in Dulles, and he goes, "How many times do you think you've actually flown back here?" I was like, "That's a great question, but I know it's probably been 1,000 hotel stays, 1,000 rent-a-cars, over 100,000 airline miles, countless trips to DC and PAX, countless trips running through Garlock in a rent-a-car to see how fast I can get it going." I did stays or trips to overseas, London, England, Madrid, Spain, Florence, Italy, 2 years in the Pentagon. To give some of you younger folks some perspective, when I first flew to Dulles, they actually got you off on a people mover. It flew up to the plane you got off. When I started working, this Banks will appreciate this. There were no PCs, right? PCs just started coming out. There was no email, there was no CAT card, no NMCI. I remember the first time using the cell phone, or first time using GPS, or using GPS. No TSA. Actually, I got to fly out of Inyakern. Those were some exciting times. I remember sitting outside the Pentagon after 9/11. That was something. Some key dates for me: March 1st, 1989. That's my first date. June 30th, 1999. That was the first day of my next firing. Some of you guys, not everybody's going to understand this one, but February 7th, 2019. Right? That was memorable. And my last one, December 31st, 2023. I'll never forget all the Fox 2 calls, watching 8-9X getting fired. Seeing several Harman Argam shots called Magnum getting thrown out. I spent a number of hours in the pool drown proofing just to get in the back seat. My first flight was with Booger. He's a special character. Flew in a TA4. We flew over Horseshoe Meadows so he can look for his hiking spots. Some of you guys have heard this story. I flew in the back seat one time with Red Dog, and I aimed on X 2-circle scenario. It was a 6.5 G pool. I was trying not to pass out so loud they could never hear the Sim Fox call, so I never flew with him again. I worked things called Project Zulu, Project X, just to see an orchid die. I'm working on a spear to have a chance to ASU 54. Seen a kill chain test bed morph to a SOS-D to a wolf pack to an IFL. One of the last flight tests I saw, first call outs a dragon and the donkey is in the air. Don't ask. Amazing times. You hear it all the time, the people, it's the people. And that's so much true right here. Early on in my career, it's Terry Doherty, Steve Felix, Luke Hoover, Bernie Wenzel, Dick Cool, Peter Wiley, Bill Hunmaker. Started working with Gene Brinkmeyer. He was the epitome of hard work all the time. System engineer, didn't matter what time of day, he was always working. Followed by Ken Banks, Bob Pike. Both were best at asking the right questions at the right time. And more importantly for me is being great teachers. They just put things back in a simple manner that you can understand. Working with early people like Roy Hagman, who really showed that you didn't need a technical degree to be a leader. And he proved that day in and day out. Working with Bill Boatwright, Karen Higgins, Bill Campbell, Wayne Doucette, Scott O'Neill, Dave Janis. And of course, Joe Oliver and Steve Underwood. And even all of you, it's just been a pleasure working with all of you. Even this morning, I got a text from Deb, hey, don't forget your flag. I would have forgot it. I would have forgot it. So one of the things I'm known for is having fun, as you can kind of maybe see. The shenanigans like to play. And part of that started early on in the Sidewinder office. Rod Kenley was always having new things. He had these big boxes outside his door. I had keys. I don't know why they gave me keys to offices, but I had keys to offices. And I remember stacking boxes in his office, such that when the door closed, the box fell and you couldn't get in. He was so pissed. I would go through the hallways and change the signs everywhere. Every bit's name tag would be different. I can't tell you how many times I'd come back from travel, whether it was Sidewinder, in ARM, or even over here, and have my office decorated. And so it was always fun. One of the more memorable times is I lost a bet with Travis Maya. He decorated my whole office in Viking stuff. It was gross. So the other thing I like to do is I have a bunch of junk on my desk. So you folks have seen it. And so as I was cleaning stuff out, I was thinking of people here. So I got a few things. First up, Mr. Aberer, if you could come up here, please.
Only alphabetical order, right? That's the only
So one of the things I have is Philip's been great about bringing in the spear aspect. I remember he came in. Quite honestly, I wasn't too sure Philip was the right character to lead this stuff. And I just remember looking across the desk. I go, I need you to push. He's like, I'll do it. I go, I need you to push. He's like, I'll do it. And you've done a great job. And one of the things I've always talked about is a paper missile beats a real missile every time, because it has nothing to prove. It's always on paper. But Philip's always been great about real missiles. And so these are actually umbilicals from a harm shot. And this, I believe, is from an ASRAAM. So I want you to continue building real missiles, Philip.
All right. Thank you.
Next up is Dr. Stinger. Wonderful. Is it?
Yep.
Dr. Stinger. So Mike is an air-to-air guy. I think he's worked every air program since I don't know.
Yeah.
The one thing, I think he's worked this one. I've always had this AAAM. This always made me think of you, because I think that belongs to your dad.
It did.
So that's yours. The other thing, I don't throw stuff away. I did tell you the other day. But I remember Zulu came to me one time and says, "Hey, we need to go do something. And we need to put stuff together." I was like, "Zulu, we've been doing this for 20 years. We know it." So one of the things was called Mamba. I don't remember Mamba, but it's Edge Eater notes in here and stuff. So you can keep that. And here's a 9X umbilical as well. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate all you do, Michael.
I want to point out, these have been professionally declassified from secret no foreign wintel.
Thank you.
With a pen. Awesome.
It's a magic Sharpie.
It's a magic. Mr. French. So as I was cleaning out my desk, I came across a bunch of keys. Since he's in charge of IBO, there you go. Oh, and the other thing I want to have is, I've always had this on my desk. I don't know, Calvin, if you remember this.
Yeah, I do.
This is just a reminder, you're always tied in with somebody, right? I want you to know, you're tied in.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, Justin, come here. I'm supposed to shake your hand.
You got another key?
Another key. Thank you. The other thing I loved about Justin is one of my favorite sayings is the non-decision making cape that SESers get when they graduate. All right. Speaking of non-decision making capes, Miss Corzine. So Janine, how long you been an SESer?
SES 2 years.
2 years, all right. When she first got her SES, one of the things we were gonna do is have a little get to know Janine trivia. We never did do it. Guess what?
I'm right here for you. I'm right here for you.
So we're just as a little bit get to know JC. Here we go. So we get multiple choice. I'm not going to do them all.
Thanks.
Describe your perfect day. This is combing Andy's hair. Daydreaming about what the dogs will eat next. Peanut butter, horse apples, cushions. Getting up early to listen to Football and Grits podcast about SEC football. Was that one of yours? So here's another one. Cats or dogs? Your perfect-
Dogs.
Actually, neither. I pretend to be Liz Taylor in National Velvet hugging the horses. Her worst job was it intermediate math tutor for OU football team, the current job, or working at the gas mart in Toronto.
OU football.
OU football. So here's this for you for later. And this is Danny's and Mike's long range precision fire forecast office, whatever. So it's yours. That was easy. See, it wasn't too much. Actually, I got a dual one here. Deborah Roach and Brad Harlow. All right, so cleaning out my office. So the purple sage, I don't know if you saw the purple sage over there, but that was Rosmore. She generated that back up for Scott O'Neill whenever he retired, and recruited me to be the purple sage. So I've worn it a couple times. appreciate it out there. The other thing, though, that's not there is the Dust Devil. So that was Tom Pearl had that. Here's
There you go.
Here, Brad, what's that one? The other thing was part of the Purple Sage. The deal is here. I've seen that. This is not going to go well. All right. Anything for you, Steven? Can I go to these meetings like this?
Big improvement.
I got another little hoodie. All right, good, thanks. But here's more important things, though. I know how closely you work with Mr. Crane, you know? And I know how I love Dan. Everybody knows I love Dan. He can't help himself. Sometimes he just talks. He knows it, and he's like, he even catches himself. But so what I got for you is to help him. Is I got some mouth tape. We're working there. Harlan. I got a couple things for Harlan.
I use these on a regular basis.
I didn't want to bring him home. I got a name plaque for Harlan, just to make sure we know where we're from. We're from NAWS, Naval Air Warfare Center, Aircraft Division.
There's a long story.
I love Harlan, man. Thank you.
Mr. Farmer still is overdue on court fees. And I'm sure that we'll have opportunities to have
Bail.
well, penalty and late fees do apply, and so we'll have opportunity.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Dan, Mr. Crane. So one of the things I love about Dan is his love for card bills. He loves history. This is one of the things I resonate with Dan, but I have a collection of Dr. McCauley speeches in here. Nice. I don't know where I got those from, but I wanted to get those. There's that PowerPoint thing that I didn't want to do. And here's Dan's sign from NOC AD as well. And one of the things that Dan did was he likes to pass down knowledge and help people out. He gave me a key book, and after seeing the title of the book, I really appreciated Dan's leadership style. It's like, makes a perfect sense, right? Leadership Secrets of Attila the Hun.
I know it.
Thank you.
I'm updating this book. I'll tell you a book that Stephen gave me, just real quick, and it's a little bit serious. A few months, maybe 2 or 3 months into the job, a box shows up at my house, and I open it up. And, it's a leadership Bible, John Maxwell, with a really nice, encouraging note from Stephen. And that's his character. That's who we're saying bye today. This is a lot of fun, but it's meant a lot to me.
You can never go without asking the Admiral to come up. So, when I was talking about all the call signs, you get them all differently. I don't know how you got Brownie. But one of the unique things about Admiral Ash lately is he's kind of conscious about the greenhouse emissions, and so he's got himself a little scooter that he goes around. So I don't know if you caught the call signs, but I've been calling him Scooter from now on. I'm also a little worried about him with the daylight savings going away, traveling at night. So I want to make sure you get. And then you need to put that on your scooter as well, sir.
I'm showing my bell on my scooter.
Well, I did do blue for you. And you can push the buttons and it flashes and stuff.
Very good.
So turn it off so you save batteries. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we're getting there. Next page.
You got a popcorn machine in that box?
That one hurts, the popcorn machine, you know.
All right, so I want to leave you with three things. All right, don't forget who you stand with. Don't forget. It's okay to have fun. Be respectful. Something I learned over time. Be respectful. And the last thing, don't lose the understanding and purpose of why you're here. You know, 35 years ago, I had no clue what a warfighter was. I knew my dad was in the Army, but it's like, whatever. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't have a meaning. When I got here, it was about money, right? And having fun, drinking beer. I really didn't understand this warfighter. And if you notice, we all got these Navy shirts on. Because it's special. You know, it was back in 9X when I really started to appreciate what warfighter meant and how my job related to other people. Because at the time 9X was in development, we were behind the 8 ball. The Russians had a better short-range missile than us, and we were playing catch-up. And so it had special purpose to me, and I understood what it took. Working with the military, working with you, was a special meaning. I'll never forget when Zoil Penfield talked to some ESDPs and told him about the first time he was getting ready to go into combat in a Super Hornet. And he walked his jet, and he knew with confidence that he was going to be okay because of the people he worked with here at China Lake. Working whether it was harm, with AWL, he walked it with confidence. He knew. And when I talk, one of the things I take most pride in is talking to new employees of understanding it's more than a paycheck. It's more than a resume. It's a special purpose. And lately it's been talking about being personal, right? It's personal. Stu, Joe Johnson, their son in an F-35, it's personal. Ryan Corey's son's in the Navy, it's personal. Carl Chevy, his son's in the Navy, it's personal. Right now, in the Pacific, my future son-in-law is in a sub. He was 6 years old when his dad got shot down over Iraq. It's personal. I don't want that happening. I don't want you to forget why you're here, what you do. It matters to not only this place, but to the country. And that's why it's hard to leave. But that's also why I'm so proud to be part of this group and be part of you guys. So thank you. I'm overwhelmed. I'm very surprised at the number of people to make sure I'm leaving. Even Point Magoo came here. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you very much.
knew why you
Yeah. Hey, before you leave, I'm sorry. Come on out for a shot. Good job. All right, come on, everybody. All right.